Hi everyone, I want to talk to you about Adobe Bridge. Bridge is a program that comes with Photoshop, and it's great for organizing your images, keywording them, sorting them, opening them up in Photoshop after you've figured out which one you want. I have millions of photographs, and if I did not have some way of organizing them, I'd be in huge trouble. I would spend most of my time looking for that one photograph I remember taking that one day. Um, so here's Bridge. You can see it showing you my desktop, a little um, picture of the JPEG I just had open. Um, okay, so first of all, let's reset our workspace. You can see I have a just fine space, which is one of the workspaces I set, but let's go back to the traditional workspace. Okay, the default workspace is the word I should be looking for. Default workspace in Bridge looks like this. In fact, let's start with folders up here. Let's start in the upper left. I actually don't have this tab open very often. I usually use favorites. I've favorited everything I wanted. So if there's something like Murphy's Digital Photo, I want to have, it's where all my images are that I've ever taken in my lifetime that have made it to this hard drive. It's one specific hard drive. If I want to favorite that, I can just come up to File and Add to Favorites. All right, but actually, I went and there's one folder on here that specifically I've wanted to favorite. It's called Digital Camera, which really has every single raw image ever. So that one I've already added to my favorites. So now it says remove from favorites because it's already in there. So I'm not going to remove it. But I am going to go over here and show it to you. There's Digital Camera right there. That's all this stuff. Like you can see, I've broken it down by folders, and folders are okay. I can look at a folder and say, oh, there's probably pictures of bars. By bars, I mean the places you drink that I've taken pictures of. Or beaches. Let's go with beaches. But with a folder, you can only give it one word. So it's a beach, but there's probably pictures of my son at the beach, pictures of my wife at the beach, all kinds of pictures at the beach. But I could only call it like beach. I could only call the folder one thing. But Bridge lets me put keywords. And this is what I use Bridge for the most, is assigning keywords, as you can see down here. It's super handy. So here's all the keywords I set up. And let's go ahead and keyword something like animals. I'm still trying to get around to keywording all my animals. So we can open that and say, oh look, I have a whole folder of alligators. I've never keyworded my alligators. You can see under animals, there's no alligator. So first of all, I added animals. Just up here, I said new keyword, and I made the animals keyword. Now I actually need a sub keyword. So we'll say new sub keyword, and we'll call it alligators, or alligator. I should probably leave the S off. All right, so alligator is now a keyword, and to assign these guys, I can just click on it and then click this little checkbox. But you know what? I'm going to shift click. To select multiples, you just hold down shift. So shift click, and then click alligator. Now, whenever I need an alligator next time, since these guys have now been keyworded, whew, that's done. At least I accomplished something today. I can just go over and say, here, let's back up a little bit. Let's go to my digital folder. Say, oh, you know what? Let's find. And it knows I'm looking for alligator, and I also was looking for Jeff before, so I'm going to take that one off and say find. And there's my alligators. They pop right back up. Isn't that awesome? So next time I need a picture of an alligator, I'm set. Although there's probably more alligators in there somewhere, because I have some of my animals folder broken up by zoos, so it's potentially I could have had more alligators randomly in those folders. So later I'll have to just find them and hook that keyword to them by checking it after I select them. So we did something there. We hooked a keyword to these pictures of alligators. All right. So this little find button, super important, because actually what I want to find is, I know it's on in my digital camera folder, so I'm going to actually click that, and I'm going to look for a picture of my son Quinn. We're looking for a specific picture for the next demo, which is about camera raw. So I can say find, and I can say look in digital camera, and we want Quinn. And I can say find. And I have lots and lots of pictures of Quinn. And some of these I've actually put ratings on. Like if I look at these pictures, I say, well, that one's okay. I mean, he's so cute, how can it not be okay? But I might even have a better one. So maybe I'll assign a rating to that. We'll go to my labels right here at the top and say we'll give that 3 stars. All right. Now you saw it jump away because I actually have this sorted. Let's go ahead and sort this. Let's do view sort. Okay, view sort by file name is actually the default, so we should stick there. So there's the one I just gave 3 stars to. See, here's a 5-star one down here. That was my favorite. Let's go ahead and you can always hit the space bar and you can look at it full screen. That was a gift from my friend Mary. Thank you, Mary. That was a great shirt that Quinn had before he outgrew it. Okay, so you can go ahead and you can label these. You can rate them. You can give them all kinds of labels. And then later you can sort them. You can say, oh, let's sort them by the best pictures of Quinn. And I can say, so let's do them by label, or no, by rating, my star rating. And down here at the bottom, now, here's all my best pictures of Quinn. There's the Lock Up Your Daughter 3. You can see there's a whole bunch of pictures in this folder I haven't given a rating to. But here's my 5 stars. Banjo picture, poor Barley picture, we're going to be using, and there's old Ducky tub. Okay. Let's do a little bit more advanced search here. Let's go back to Find. And what I want are pictures of Quinn. But I also want pictures of Barley. Pictures of Quinn and Barley together. So I have to say match if all criteria are met. And I'll include my subfolders and say find. And notice it's looking at my digital camera because that's the last thing I use. So I'll do find. And there's Quinn and Barley. So I'm using the keyboard's arrows to move around these guys. That's a good one right there. And probably at the bottom, since I still have this sorted, is the image that I wanted, which has 5 stars. Okay. Let's see what else can you do here. We've assigned some keywords. You can look at the metadata with everything if you want. This is a raw file that has metadata. It'll show me the file name, the color mode, all this stuff, the camera data that was recorded when I took the picture, like what camera I used, the lens and the focal length and all that stuff. So I can actually search with that metadata. That's what I wanted to remind myself of. When you do a find, you can actually do a file name, or you can do, actually I think we did a file name last time. You can do a keyword, or you can do it by your exposure or your focal length of your lens, or any of that stuff. If you happen to remember what lens you were using or what ISO you were using, all that stuff is recorded in your metadata, which you know, all your files on your computer, it's all data. The metadata is just the important part of that data that's written into the header of that file. So all your camera raw files will have that automatically included with them. So you can search that way too. Look at all these ways you can find a file. I'm almost always just using keywords, unless I realize I haven't assigned a keyword yet. I might know the date that I took it. So that's an option too. All right. We're going to do keywords. We're going to do Quinn. Oh, no, I'm looking actually for a picture that Quinn took of me. So we're going to do Jeff and Barley. And say find. And this image is what we're using for our next demo. Here, let me hit the space bar again. There it is. It's actually been already processed through Camera Raw, and that's why it has a little crop mark icon and the little Camera Raw icon to show me that that's already been processed in Camera Raw. And that will be the next demo, little Camera Raw demo. Before I leave you, I would take some questions if I could hear you, but let me just think if I have any questions about something I haven't covered. Oh, there's a collections tab. I don't actually hardly ever make any collections because I try to do everything just with keywords, but if I wanted to make a collection I could with these little guys down here. There's an export feature if I want to export things to Facebook or Flickr or save something. Oh, and by the way, you can always right-click or on a Macintosh control-click. That's the same thing as right-clicking on Windows. And you can do all kinds of, you can open or open in Camera Raw. You can move it to the trash from here. So from Bridge, you can throw your stuff away. You can batch rename stuff in here. If I wanted to rename the contents of an entire folder, I could shift select them all and say batch rename. It's pretty handy. I can hear Barley whining in the background because she wants to play. So that must mean it is time for me to go and work on my picture of me and Barley. It was Quinn's first digital SLR picture, as we'll talk about in the next demo. See you then.